Hello and welcome to the final Mental Health Monday of 2015. I've already said it in my very last reading challenge video, but there are a few people who subscribe to me just for Mental Health Monday videos, I think, so I want to say it on here as well. Just a huge thank you to everyone who subscribed and commented and liked. You guys are amazing. I really didn't think that anyone would subscribe to this. You know, I was just doing it for myself and because I wanted to. And people have subscribed, people who don't know me, and that's awesome. And you've all been wonderful, and your comments are brilliant. There's been a few people who commented unpleasant stuff, but it's been like 0.5% maybe, and I can handle that. I'm not worried about dealing with arse-hats. Everybody else has been incredible, and thank you so much for joining me this year, and I hope you'll join me next year because I am going to continue this. I feel like it's important to. I feel like I still have stuff to say. So yeah, I hope you'll continue with me in my journey, and thank you so much for coming along thus far. You are incredible, and I am very grateful for every single one of you. Now, on to my topic for this week, which I feel is actually super relevant to everything I've said this year and kind of caps it off quite nicely. And that is the importance of honesty. It is vital to be honest about what's going on inside of you. And here is where it gets difficult, because other people don't feel comfortable listening to what's going on inside of you if you're feeling really bad. Now you need to express it. Honesty is important in every situation. I find it vital in every aspect of life. I don't like people who lie, and I don't like lying. And it's not a nice thing to do to people. It is, yeah, it's deeply unpleasant to lie to people, and it's deeply unpleasant to be lied to. So I'm a huge sort of stickler on the importance of honesty. But in this situation, it is deeply important because you don't hold on to these things. They are not healthy to hold on to. They can only get worse if you hold on to them. If you suck it all up and keep it all in, I know for a fact that it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse until you are at the point of collapse. And if you reach that point and you go beyond it and you hit collapse. For me, I didn't get to that point because I had children, and that was my priority. I have to be sane for my children. I think if I hadn't had children at that point, I would have just tipped over and I would have ended up on a mental hospital ward. Yeah, I would have done. My children were my grounding point. My children were my buck stops here point. So I was fortunate in that I had children, even though I feel like my children were not fortunate at the time in that they had me as a mother, because I was not good at that point. I was not very good within myself. I'm a lot better now, by the way. But yeah, you need to let it out. You need to talk to people, and a lot of people like me have experienced talking tiny aspects of it to other people and just being blanked. Dismissiveness, you're seeking attention, oh, it's not that bad, I can't see it, therefore it doesn't really exist, all that stuff. You've had all that stuff. You've tried to talk to people and you've had all that stuff, and you have to reach a point where you're like, well, it's tough shit, really. It's tough shit if they don't believe it. It's tough shit if they think I'm attention seeking. It's tough shit if they think that it doesn't exist because they can't see it. All of that, tough shit. Tough shit if they find it difficult hearing what I've got to say. Tough shit if it upsets them. I'm sorry. You know, if someone is talking to you about all the hell that is going on inside of them and it upsets you, what kind of special flower are you anyway? You know, someone's sharing with you how hurt and messed up and broken they are inside, and you're like, oh, this is upsetting to me. What? I just can't understand that kind of response, and frankly, it just makes me want to slap people when they're like that. I'm upset by the trauma in your life. Really, Cupcake? Dread to think what would happen if you have to go through any upset yourself, isn't it? Anyway, I think what might make it easier is before you sit down and start to spill out all the crap that's inside of you onto somebody, because we need to, okay? It's essential. Whether they can take it or not, you need to talk about this shit. You need to talk to as many people as you can about this shit in as simple terms as possible. You know, I am hurting. This is not good. I am sad. My life is feeling like a prison to me. You need to say these things, because if you don't, they fester inside of you, and that is not a good thing. That is not a good thing at all. So I feel like we need to lay some ground rules before we share with people. Before we are honest, we need to lay some ground rules. I am about to talk to you about what's going on inside of me. I am not expecting anything in return. All I want are these three things. I want you to listen to me, first and foremost. Just listen. No judgment, no nothing, just listen. Second, I want you to accept that this is my truth. Third, all I want you to do is say, I support you. I'm here for you. That's it. Listening, acceptance, and being there. There's nothing more. There's no massive burden that you have to shoulder. There's nothing that you have to do, because most of the time there's nothing that you can do. Not physically. You can't physically reach out into a person who is suffering from mental health problems and fix what's going on inside of them. All you can do is listen to what they have to say, accept that it is their reality without judgment, and say, I am here for you. You know, and that doesn't require you to carry them for years and years and years. It doesn't. All it is that you are there and that they know you are there. Like, say, if they can't do something, instead of being an asshole and saying, oh, well, you know, if you just tried a bit harder, you say, that's okay, you know? It's not a problem. I understand. Even if you don't understand. And then maybe if they want to try something and they don't manage to do it and they get upset about it, say, well, it's okay. We can try again another time. It's cool. That's it. There's nothing strenuous in that, is there? There is nothing strenuous in listening, accepting, and being there. Nothing. It doesn't require this huge emotional input. It doesn't require any huge physical effort. It's just listening and accepting and being there. And even if you can't say it in the way I've said it, I think it would be useful if, before we were honest, we made it clear to people that all that we're expecting is that. Because people get into this whole mindset where they think, oh, someone's unburdened themselves on me and I'm really upset about it and now I feel like guilty because they've been handling this for so long and I don't know what to do and blah, 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 blah. If you just let them know first and foremost that there is nothing that you expect of them to do other than these few things. And I know that puts the burden on you. It really does. It puts the burden on the person who has to share. But I feel like people are really misunderstanding the whole idea of hearing people with mental health issues. I mean, there's loads of stuff going around at the moment saying, you know, it's simple to talk about mental health problems. Well, it's not. And it's because other people make it not simple. And I feel like if there's a few things we could just make clear before we talk about what's going on inside of us, then it will help them to not be an arsehat in the listening. I feel like it shouldn't be necessary to make it clear, but it is. It is necessary to make it clear to people that this is not a huge deal we're asking of them here. But the huge deal is that we've got all this crap inside of us and no one to share it with because they're too much of an arsehat to just sit and listen and accept it and say, yeah, okay, I'm here for you. So you all know the importance of honesty. You know the importance of sharing. You know the importance of not hanging on to this crap because it is just unpleasant. It is bile and it is acidic and it will eat away at you, and holding it all in, living with it without ever expressing it, without ever trying to find help. Oh my God, I know how that is, and I know how not good it is, and I know that you don't want to do that. So if you feel like you need to talk to someone about it, maybe just before you talk to them, say, listen, I need to talk about what's going on, and all I need you to do is listen to me and accept that what I'm saying is true for me, and tell me that you're here. That's all I need. I'm not doing this to overburden you. I'm not doing this to upset you. I just need to talk about what's going on, because if I don't, I'm going to go crazy. And that might not be easy, so maybe write it on cards or go and say it to someone you don't know, a doctor or a professional. Sometimes it's easier to say the difficult things to people we don't know. Sometimes we find it easier to say the difficult things to people we do know and do trust. And here is the most important thing. If you really know that you need to talk about this, don't stop talking until someone listens. I know it's hard. I know it is. And I know not everyone is as much of a terrier as I am. But if you give up, then the outcome is that you never have any help. And that is the worst outcome. You don't want to be there. You don't want to be struggling on by yourself with this crap. You want to be able to find help. You want to be able to find support. And most of all, you want to be able to find ways to get through it or around it or past it. Not all of us have things that are curable, but we all have things that are manageable. And sometimes that's all you need to be able to manage it, to get on with your life. Other times it takes longer. But if you don't take the first step, you'll never get on the journey. I'm going to stop rambling now because I can't seem to do this video any shorter than 20 minutes, and editing it is going to be a nightmare, but it's something I'm super passionate about, as you can tell. I will see you in the new year. I will be starting again after January the 8th. Thank you all for being amazing. Bye-bye.